Good morning everyone and welcome to the social science class. This is class 6th, chapter number 6 of history, and the name of the chapter is Kingdoms, Kings and an Early Republic. This is our summary lecture as we have already covered this chapter in different lectures. Today we are going to recapitulate all the topics covered in the different lectures. So let's see the topics that we will revise today. They are the new kings that emerged there in society in later Vedic period, Ashwamedha, Varna, Janpada, Mahajanpada, fortification, taxes, changes in agriculture, Mahajanpadas, Magda, Vaji. These are the examples that Greece we will do. Near about 2500 years ago, what was the happenings there in Greece. So, let's start with the topics. How did some men become ruler? As till now, we did not talk about any of the king or ruler there in the Rigvedic period. The two types of people according to the work they were doing, they were described as priests or rajas. Here, near about 3000 years ago, there were some new ways of choosing rajas. They were started choosing the rajas of the Janpadas. The Janpadas emerged there in the society, then Mahajanpadas we will talk. So, the new way of choosing rajas. Some men became rajas by performing sacrifices. The rituals, those were performed by the priest, in which these sacrifices were performed by the rajas to show the powerness in front of other rajas. One such rituals was Ashwamedha. So let's discuss what is this Ashwamedha. It means horse sacrifice. The meaning of Ashwamedha is horse sacrifice. That one of the rituals that was performed by rajas. And what was done there in Ashwamedha? A horse was let loose to wander freely in Ashwamedha. The horse was guarded by Raja's men. What was the procedure? The horse was let loose and the area the horse was covering, that came under the influence of that particular Raja who was doing that Ashwamedha. If any other Raja stopped that horse, that means that Raja was challenging the battle against the Raja who was performing Ashwamedha. And this horse was guarded by Raja's men to see the area it was covering. The Raja who performed sacrifice recognized as very powerful Raja. The rajas, those were performing the sacrifices, they were considered as powerful rajas. Other rajas and common men used to bring gifts for that raja. At the time of rituals performed by raja, the raja was the focus or the main focus for the other people at the time of performing rituals. Such rituals were performed by Brahmins or priests, and other rajas or common people, they were bringing gifts for that raja. The priest performed the rituals including the sprinkling of sacred water on the king. So the complete ritual that was performed by priest, and in which priest was sprinkling sacred water on the kings also. This was all about Ashwamedha. Now, Varna. If we talk about the people, those were living in later Vedic period, there were different people in society like priests, warriors, farmers, herders, traders, laborers. So different type of people altogether they were living in society. So these all groups of people were divided into 4 groups by priests or the Brahmins. These were known as Varnas. Priests divided the people into 4 groups. They were known as Varnas. 4 Varnas were the Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Sudras. These were the names of 4 Varnas. Let's discuss about these 4 Varnas. The Brahmins. The Brahmins were expected to study and teach the Vedas. Basically, these four Varnas, they were having specific task to perform. So Brahmins, they were expected to study and teach the Vedas. Second were Kshatriyas. The second were the rulers, also known as Kshatriyas. They were expected to fight battles. Their main task they were performing, that was fighting battles. The Vaishyas. The Vaishyas were on the third number, and it was having the common people like farmers, herder, traders, merchants. They were there in the third category, Vaishyas. The Shudras. The last one were the Sudras, who had to serve all other three groups. Basically, these Shudras were considered as lower, and they were there to serve all other three groups. As we talk about the lower caste, in civics chapter number 2, we talked about the lower caste. The people, those belonged to the lower caste, they were not considered as equal. So here also these Shudras, they were considered the lower one, and they served all other three groups. So these were four Varnas of society. Janpadas. The word Janpada literally means the land where Jana set its foot and settled down. Firstly, the name, if you know the name, that Jana and Vish. If you remember these words we talked about in previous chapter, that its meaning was the community as whole. So Jana, the group of people, Pad means pad, Kadam. So the word Janpada literally means the land where Jana set its foot and settled down. So where Janas they settled down, they were known as Janpadas. And the example of Janpadas, they were given in your book, Purana Kila, New Delhi, and Hastinapur in UP. Now, the Rajas, those performed the big sacrifices, had become Rajas of Janpadas. They considered themselves the Rajas of Janpadas who were performing the sacrifices. People lived in huts there in Janpadas. They grew variety of crops like wheat, rice, barley, mustard, sesame, sugarcane. All these crops we discussed there in previous chapter also. Only sugarcane, the evidences of sugarcane were found there in Janpadas. That was the new crop we talk about. So the next one main thing about Janpadas, a special kind of pottery was also found, that was there in the Janpadas. Its name was painted grey ware. That was in grey color, and different prints were there. So painted grey ware, the special type of pottery found there in Janpadas. This is all about Janpadas. Mahajanpadas. About 2500 years ago, some Janpadas became more powerful. Just such Janpadas were known as Mahajanpadas. Means the Janpadas in later Vedic period, those immersed there in society, some of them became more powerful than others, and such were known as Mahajanpadas. And these Mahajanpadas were having the fortification around their capital cities. So the capital cities of these Mahajanpadas were fortified. Now what is this fortified or the forts? First see the map of Mahajanpadas. Some of the Mahajanpadas are located there. Then we will discuss about the fortification also. Here you can see in the map Magda, they are in Bihar area, you can see at present Bihar, Vaji, Kosala, Avanti, and Kuru, Gandhar, Kamboj. These were some of the important Mahajanpadas of later Vedic period. Now, fortification. What does it mean? The huge walls, those were made up of wood, stone, and bricks, were built around the capital cities of Mahajanpadas. That was known as fortification. Means the huge construction of huge walls around capital cities was fortification. You can relate it. You might have seen the Red Fort at Delhi. In Delhi, there you might have seen the huge walls around that. So you can relate that fort with this fortification. They started making the fortification. They started making the forts there around their capital cities. Now, why did they start making that fortification or the forts? The reasons for that, reasons for building forts, the Rajas of Mahajanpadas built forts to protect their capital city. Forts were built because people were afraid of attacks from other kings. For the safety purpose of the people, as people were afraid of the other king's attack, that's why the kings, they built the forts around their capital city for the safety purpose. Some rulers wanted to show their power by building tall and impressive walls around their capital city. Some of the rulers, they wanted to show their power and richness to other rajas, other rulers. That's why they built the tall and impressive walls around their capital city. This was one of the reasons. And another reason, Rajas could easily control all the people living in fortified area, because in fortified area it was easier to have a look on the people rather than the people when they were scattered in different areas, because that the fortified area was easily controlled by the Rajas. So these were the reasons why they started building the forts. Next is taxes. As firstly you must know what is this tax. The amount that people living in a particular kingdom, they pay to the Rajas or the kings. Here we must know that before that the taxes were not collected by the Rajas. Now they started maintaining the armies. So they had to give salaries to the soldiers, and for that they needed the regular income, regular resources with them. And for that it was the gifts brought by the people, they were not sufficient. That's why they started collecting the taxes. Rajas of later Vedic period began maintaining armies. That's it. So they had to pay salaries to the soldiers. So instead of depending on occasional gifts brought by people, they started collecting regular taxes. As I told you that that gift, they were not sufficient at that time. So that's why the regular income or the regular resources they were needing. So that's why they started collecting the taxes. Rajas started collecting the different types of taxes from different people. Here we will discuss about the 5 types of the taxes. From taxes from farmers, craft persons, traders, herders, hunter and gatherers. So farmers, how were they paying? Farmers gave taxes and as 1/6 of their produce. Means whatever the production they were having, out of that 1/6 they were paying as tax to ruler. This part of tax was known as bhag or share. The tax that farmers were paying, that was known as bhag or share, as they were giving the share of their production to Rajas. Craft person gave taxes in the form of labor, as craft person were the skillful people, those who were making different things. They were designing the walls even, so they were giving tax in the form of their labor to Rajas, their work to Rajas. Traders, the person who buys something from one place and for the purpose of benefit sell it at the another place. The traders paid taxes in the form of goods they brought and sold. Herders, the people, those who were keeping herds of animals, group of animals. So they paid taxes in the form of animals and animal produce. Hunter-gatherers, the people, those who were gathering different things from the forest like wood, gum, rubber. So they were paying taxes in the form of forest produce. So these were different types of taxes. Changes in agriculture in later Vedic period. Basically 2 changes were described there. One is the use of iron plowshare, and the second is they started using transplanting method of paddy crop. The iron plowshare they started using to improve or to increase the production, because using iron plowshare was better than the use of wooden plowshare. For turning out the soil, iron plowshare was better than wooden plowshare. That's why they used it for increasing the production. Then transplanting method of paddy crop, the rice crop. Transplanting, in which firstly sampling are prepared, then with the help of those samplings the crops are grown. So earlier they were just scattering the seed on the field, but now they started using transplanting method for increasing the production. So these were two changes made there in the agriculture. Now the example of Mahajanpada Magh. Magad was most important Mahajanpada about 200 years ago. If we talk about Magda, here we will discuss about the important rulers of Magda, its capital, and why it became the important Mahajanpada. Magda had two powerful rulers, Bimbisara and Ajatashatru. And Ajatashatru wanted to attack on Sanghas even, and he sent one of his messengers to Gautam Buddha there about it, but Gautam Buddha made them realize that everything was fine there in Sanghas and Ganas, so he dropped it idea. Then if we talk about capital, Rajgriha in Bihar was the capital of Magda for several years, but later the capital was shifted to Patliputra. Firstly, Rajgriha, as at present it is Rajgir in Bihar, and Patliputra, if we talk about at present, it is known as Patna. This is in Bihar. This is all about the capital. Now, why it became the important Mahajanpada? The river flowing in Magda were Ganga and its tributary Son. So, due to the presence of these rivers, Magda was having the water facility, and if water facility was there, the land was fertile, the transport for transporting it was useful, so it became important for transport, water supply, and making the land fertile. So for that purpose, Ganga and its tributary, they were helpful for Magda. Then, and forested area was available there in Magda. So elephants lived in forested area of Magda, which were captured and trained for army. You know that earlier the rulers, they were having the elephants in their armies. So these elephants were captured from the forested area and then trained for army for Magda. Forests were important for wood also. Why? Because that wood they were using for making houses, cars and chariots. So these different things, those were available in Magda, made it important. Then one more evidence was found that mines of iron ore were also found. So iron ore was present, that's why different tools made up of iron they were using. So that increased the importance of Magda. This is all about Magad. Then Vaji. Vaji was one another type of the, you can say, Mahajanpada, in which one ruler was not present. Firstly, if we talk about the capital of Vaji, it was Vaishali. As capital of Magda, it was Rajgriha in starting, then Patliputra. Capital of Vaji, it is Vaishali. It was under different type of government known as Gana or Sangha. As I told you that any one single powerful Raja was not there. It was ruled by many rulers, and these rulers, they performed the rituals together and met in assemblies. But in assemblies, some of the groups of the society like Kamakaras, slaves, women, they were not allowed. So they discussed all the matters there in assemblies. Both Buddha and Mahavira, about whom we will be discussing in next chapter, they both belonged to Gana or Sangha. So this is about the capital of Vaji, and then what type of government or the rulers were there. Gana. The meaning of Gana is it is used for a group that has many members. It means Sangha, it means an organization or association. Association here the spelling please confirm it. Association. T is missing there between A and I. So make it correct please. Important kingdom tried to conquer the Sangha. The important kingdoms of that time, they wanted to conquer Sangha. And the last Gana or Sangha, as I told you, Ajatashatru also wanted to control, but he did not do that. Last Gana or Sangha were conquered by the Gupta Empire. So this is all about Vaji and Magadha. Now Greece. As in every chapter we talk about the happenings in the world. So here in this chapter about Greece it is given. Here when Janpadas developed there in India, in Greece, near about 2500 years ago, democracy form of government was found. But it was not absolute democracy that we have now. Only few people, they were considered as citizens, and through the lottery system they were choosing their representative. And women were not considered as citizens. Many foreigners worked there as merchant, craft persons. They did not have the right as citizens. So many of the people living there, they were not having the right as the citizen of Greece. Only few percentage of people, they were the citizen of Greece, and they were having the lottery system and choosing their representative. This was not the democracy that we have now. So this is all about the chapter. I hope that all the topics as we discussed again today, we recapitulated again, you all have understood all the topics. Now it's turn for the small assignment. Question number 1. Answer the following questions. Name some Janpadas. A. B. How were cities of Mahajanpadas fortified? C. What is Bhag? D. How some men came to be recognized as Rajas? E. Which category of people was excluded from many rituals in the later Vedic period? Means which category was not allowed to be the part of rituals? How were forests useful for the people of Magadha? What were the uses? You can write here. Name the 4 Varnas that are described in the Vedas. That you will write here the names only. And H, what does Varna mean? Next is fill in the blanks. Rajas who let the dash horse pass through their lands were invited to the sacrifice. Number 2. Archaeologists have found huts in the settlements of the dash. Third, pots of stored grain were made out of painted dash. The special type of pottery you write here. Herders were also expected to pay taxes in the form of dash and dash. Fifth, dash were paid regular salaries and maintained by the kings throughout the year. Then sixth, both the Buddhas and Mahavira belonged to dash and dash. Seventh, Ajatashatru wanted to attack the dash. So this is the small assignment that you need to do. And that's it for today. Thank you and have a